So you want to know how I turn this simple 16-side circle into these two objects, a spoon and a fork. Then, I will showing you my process and approach from start to finish, all inside Blender 2.92, which is the latest release version of the software. Before we get started, don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified to this channel after you watch and get inspired from this video. Alright, let's begin. First, let's delete this default cube. Go to the Add menu. Select Mesh, then select Circle. On the Add Circle panel, let's change the default vertices value into 16. Alright, let's rename this circle in the outliner into Spoon. Go back to the circle, then duplicate it by pressing Shift D, and then Escape on the keyboard. Now, we have two circles. Let's rename the second circle into Fork. For now, we can hide the fork from viewport and focus first to the spoon. Alright. Now, it's time for the spoon. Go to Edit mode by pressing Tab. Then, activate the Proportional Edit and select Move button. Now, go to the upper side of the circle. Select one vertex and then move it upward. Play around with the radius of Proportional Edit by scrolling the middle mouse to move another vertices proportionally. Next, let's move to the other side of the circle. Select two vertices from the both side. Then scale them by pressing S a little bit. Do the same process until we get the shape of the bowl part of the spoon that we want. Next, select all vertices. Go to the Face menu and then select Grid Fill. On the Grid Fill panel, let's change the span value into 2, and the offset into -1. Now, go back to the Object mode. Go to the Modifier properties, and on the Add Modifier drop-down list, let's select Subdivision Surface. For now, keep the default value of the Subdivision Surface properties, and then select Apply to apply the modifier to the object. Still in the Object mode, go to the Add menu. Now, let's select Curve, and then select Path. Let's rename the first NURBS path into Contour 01. With this first NURBS path, we will create the first contour of the bowl part using Curve modifier later. Let's move this contour 01 upward little bit. Then, do some move and scale to fit the bowl part of the spoon length on X-axis. Next, duplicate the contour 01 by pressing Shift D and Escape. Then, go to the outliner and rename it into contour 02. Rotate the contour 02, 90 degrees along Z-axis. Scale it down little bit to fit the bowl part length along the Y-axis. Then, move it backward little bit. Same as contour 01, contour 02 will be used to create the second contour of the bowl part later. Now, go back and select contour 01. Go to Edit mode by pressing Tab. Deactivate the proportional edit, then select the Move button. Select and move one of the vertex near the far right downward. Then, followed by the other vertices on the left side. Tweak little bit to make the first contour looks closer to the real bowl contour. Contour 01 is done. Now, let's move to contour 02 on the object mode. Select contour 02 and go to Edit mode. Select 3 vertices on the middle and move downward little bit. Scale them up little bit. Go to Object mode, then move contour 02 little bit. Now let's select the spoon. On the Add modifier, select Curve modifier. On the Curve modifier properties, let's select contour 01 into Curve object. And keep the deform axis to X. Now let's move the spoon object along the contour 01. Next, let's add another curve modifier. On this second curve properties, select contour 02 into Curve object, and keep the deform axis into X. Now let's move the spoon object along the contour 02. Alright. Contour 01 and contour 02 is done. So for now we can apply the modifier to the object by select Apply. Next, we need to correct the position of object origin back to 3D cursor. We can use front orthographic view to manage it. After that, go to Object menu, select Set Origin, then Origin to 3D Cursor. Don't forget to hide the contour 01 and 02 from viewport. While the spoon's still selected, go to Edit mode. In this edit mode, we will do some final tweak into the spoon to fit the real bowl shape that we want. This is optional for you. If you feel your spoon shape already fits you, go ahead. Next, let's move to another part of the spoon, the handle. So first, let's change from vertex into edge select. Go to the bottom part of the spoon object. Then, select edges that will be our handle later. Scale them up by pressing S little bit. Go to front orthographic view. Now extrude them by pressing E and grab them to the position. Confirm by clicking the left mouse button. Do this process several times to make the neck and the handle itself. Let's tweak the handle a little more. This is also optional. If you feel happy with your handle, go ahead. Alright. I think enough for the handle, and now go back to object mode. Let's go to modifier properties and add solidify modifier. On the Solidify properties, let's change the thickness value into 0.05 and leave the other properties value to its default. Now, go back and right-click on the spoon and select Shade Smooth. Let's add another modifier, Subdivision Surface Modifier. On the properties, increase the viewport level into 2. Next, we need to apply the thickness from Solidify modifier to the object. So, select Apply the modifier. After that, let's go back to the Edit mode. We will add 2 loop cut to the thickness of the object. Well done. Congratulations. We have finished the spoon. But before we continue to the fork, if you feel this video informative and inspire you, please share this video to your family or friend. Like this video, subscribe to this channel, and ring the bell to get notified for the next upload. Alright, let's begin the fork session. First, let's hide the spoon object via the outliner and unhide the fork. Select the fork circle. Then, go to Edit mode by pressing Tab. Go to the Face menu, then select Grid Fill. On the Grid Fill panel, change the span value into 2 and offset into -1. Go back to the Object mode. Then, let's add Subdivision Surface Modifier to the object. Let's increase the viewport level into 2. Then, apply the modifier into the object. Go back to Edit mode. Let's change Vertex Select into Face Select. Then, press and hold your left mouse button to make selection from top to middle of the circle. Then, delete the selected faces. Now change into the Edge Select. Go back to the fork object. Shift Select to the edges on the top part, for creating the tine part of the fork. Go to the top orthographic view, and extrude the selected edges along X-axis by pressing E and then X. While still selected, scale them down a little bit by pressing S. Make sure the proportional edit is activated. Go back and change to the Vertex Select. Select 2 vertices on the location above, then scale down little bit. Change to Edge Select mode. Move to the bottom part of the fork object. Then, make selection around the bottom part. While selected, let's move the edges to make the shape looks like the real fork. You can play around with the radius of proportional edit using the mouse scroll. Next, go back to the object mode by pressing Tab. Let's unhide the Contour 01 from the outliner. Now let's select the Contour 01. Move and scale it to fit with the fork object. While still selected, go to Edit mode. Then, move the vertices up little bit. We need to edit the contour of the Contour 01 little bit to looks like the real fork. Next, go back to Object mode. Now select the fork object. Go to Modifier Properties and add Curve Modifier. Let's select Contour 01 into the Curve Object Properties, and keep the Deform Axis into X. Now move the fork object along the Contour 01. Looks good. Then let's apply the modifier into the object. Right now, we can hide back the Contour 01. Next, we need to correct the object origin position back to the 3D cursor. Use Front Orthographic View to manage it. Then, go to Object menu, select Set Origin, select Origin to 3D cursor. Now go back to Edit mode. While still in Edge Select, select the edges on the bottom part of the fork object. Then scale them up little bit. Go to Front Orthographic View. Then extrude selected edges and grab it into the position by pressing E. Confirm it by left mouse button. Do this several times. This is for creating the handle part of the fork. After that, let me tweak the handle part to fit what I want. This is optional. If you feel happy with your handle, go ahead. Next, let's go back to Object Mode by pressing Tab. Go to Modifier Properties and select Solidify Modifier. Let's change the thickness value into 0.05. Then, go back to the fork. Right-click on it and select Shade Smooth. Then, let's add Subdivision Surface Modifier. Increase the viewport level into 2. But we can see, we need to correct the shape of the tine part. To correct it, let's go to the Edit mode. Let's add Loop Cut into the each tine part. First add and slide the cut to the base of the tine. Then, add another cut and slide it near the top of the tine. Do the same process to the other tines. Then, let's do some little tweak around the base of the tines by scale the vertices around it. This is optional. You can tweak another part or keep it as it is if you like. I think it's look better right now. So we can go back to the object mode. And then, let's apply the thickness of the Solidify modifier into the object. Last but not least, let's back to the Edit mode to add Loop Cut into the thickness of the fork. Well done and congratulations! We have finished the fork. Right now you can unhide the spoon in the outliner. Go ahead and play around with the lighting option or change the matte cap that fit to you. And that it is. We have finished the spoon and the fork. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. See you on the next video.